Yo, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? It is your boy Zither here, aka Herbert the Pervert here, back at it again to drop another what if story. Now, this one's going to be covering how the events of Naruto would change with the minuscule change of a chakra fruit being around in the time that Naruto was born. How would that change the story of Naruto? Well, you guys are gonna have to stick around to find out. So with that said, go grab your popcorn, grab your snacks, tell your friend and tell another friend and tell another friend and tell another friend to tell another friend to tell another friend. And yeah, let's get started.
Hey Ross, sauce it up.
We start our story off in the perspective of a young Naruto Uzumaki. At this point, he's literally running for his life from a bunch of villagers. They would be screaming, "Get the demon!" as Naruto would be running for his life, basically yelling, "Why are you chasing me?" as the villagers would just continue chasing him. On this day, two villagers would have decided that today was the day they would finally get rid of the demon fox, and so they would begin to chase him all around Konoha. In doing so, they pretty much ended up attracting more and more people until eventually a quarter of the village would have literally been trying to kill him. As they were about to get him, he would end up slipping over a fence and entering the Forest of Death territory, where the villagers would stop in their track watching as Naruto would enter that forest, which has been, rumored to pretty much kill anybody that dares go into it. So immediately all the villagers would stop in their tracks and pretty much start applauding, as they would all believe to have finally gotten rid of the demon child, thinking there's no way he'll survive even a day in there. At this point, a 4-year-old Naruto would walk around hungry and thirsty for 9 entire days, until finally on the 10th day he would end up encountering a strange fruit in the middle of the forest. Naruto would have wandered and wandered, seeing strange beasts, had to run away for his life, malnourished, had no water, no food, and nobody to take care of him. Keep in mind, Naruto is 4 years old. This is something no 4-year-old should ever have to go through. And so, when he's stumbling through the forest, he would end up running into a red, strange looking fruit. Now Naruto would see that it was actually attached to a vine, and there was a bunch of animals around it. The skinny, frail Naruto would actually walk towards them, and his fear of death would have ultimately been pretty much gone. Now this Naruto would then begin walking towards it, as the fruit would then start glowing, I guess you could say. And Naruto would see these animals, as they would immediately get territorial before they let Naruto through. For some reason, these animals just let Naruto go through, and he would then eat the fruit before then dying. At this point, you guys are like, "Hey, yo, Naruto died? How did Naruto even get access to a chakra fruit?" Okay, listen. I'll explain that. But before I get into that, I need to first tell you guys about who the person was who actually suggested the idea for how Naruto would at all find the chakra fruit. Now, that idea was actually sent to me by Anime Fanboy 101. His tag will be up on screen right now, and what you guys are about to hear, the original story for as to how a second chakra fruit would be introduced to the world of Naruto, was actually created by somebody with a name that I'm not even going to try to pronounce, but it's up on screen. It goes RAPANE 496, yeah, that with the little red avatar for the PFP. Anyways, though, the way that this all goes down is essentially the god tree that Kaguya eats is pretty much going to be a lot bigger than the normal one, and it actually would end up sprouting 2 chakra fruits. One, nobody's ever gonna notice. So just like in canon, she would go towards the fruit and eat it. Now that would happen, and Kaguya, like I said before, would have no idea whatsoever that there would be a second chakra fruit in the tree, lying in a bunch of inconspicuous branches near the first fruit. It would just lay there for a while. However, it wouldn't be long before the original gang of Otsutskis would come in and take the fruit, only to find it gone. All of them would storm off except for one person, Jigen, one of the more sympathetic members of his clan. He would find the extra fruit and would ponder, if I gave this to Ishiki, we would just end this world and keep finding more and more until the entire universe decays under our hunger for chakra. This needs to end. And so, he would take the fruit and fly off somewhere, saying he was going to scout the earth for Kaguya. Now fugitive, he flies to a very lush forest with a few spirit animals that accompany him. He asked them to hide the fruit somewhere, and since the animals were worried the Otsutsuki would kill them, if they refuse, they would pretty much just, they wouldn't be able to refuse, I guess you could say. And so, the Otsutsukis would actually end up hiding it under a bunch of branches, under the largest natural tree they could find. For generations, these creatures protected the fruit until humans drove them back to their homes, and so it would remain untouched. The forest that bore it would take minuscule amounts of the fruit's chakra to grow rapidly. The humans would eventually call it the Forest of Death due to its unnatural growth and tendency to bring in dangerous beasts that feed from its enormous chakra. But someone was about to uncover the secret of the Forest of Death, and the reason for its frightening growth. Someone by the name of Naruto. Now, that pretty much is how the secondary chakra fruit would even end up arriving there. Now we need to jump back to the moment that Naruto would actually end up eating the chakra fruit. What would end up happening is Naruto would have ended up taking the fruit and taking a huge bite of it before his eyes would pretty much start dozing off, and Naruto would fall onto the ground, hitting his head. The animals would then begin to surround Naruto, and Naruto at this point would wake up in another plane of existence. If you guys remember, when Naruto ended up dying in the 4th Great Shinobi War, he would have ended up meeting Hagoromo, and much like in the original, this would end up happening. Naruto, I guess you could say, might have survived because he's the reincarnation of an Otsutsuki member, but Naruto isn't a full Otsutsuki, so I still 100% believe that, plot armor aside, Naruto would have died the second he consumed the chakra fruit. And that ends the story. That's it, guys. No, I'm just kidding. Seriously though, Naruto would not end up dying. However, he would encounter Hagoromo, who would actually end up giving him his half of his Sage of Six Paths powers at an early age. Not only that, but he would actually give Naruto access to the Byakugan. And with access to the Byakugan would also come access to a third eye, the Rinne Sharingan. This Rinne Sharingan would be just so broken, and Naruto would literally wake up in the Forest of Death feeling stronger than ever, feeling invigorated, feeling as if he had just relaxed. His body felt at ease. However, one thing Naruto would notice was his sight had changed. His vision, the way he viewed the world, his eyes were different. Naruto would go by a lake, as to which he would begin looking at his reflection in the water before a giant wild wolf would pretty much start running at his direction. Naruto at this point would stick his hand out, as he would use an ability which he didn't think he would have ever had, and it would be the push ability of the Rinnegan. He would push the wolf away from him, to which the wolf would pretty much submit to him and begin running away, as it would pretty much howl in pain after being thrown meters away in distance. Naruto at this point would end up pretty much Naruto at this point would end up just kind of realizing what just happened, and seeing the third eye on his forehead, Naruto would think that it just looks strange. So he would end up actually ripping off a piece of his clothing before covering his forehead so that nobody could bear witness to the eye that was laying there. And so Naruto would pretty much begin walking in one direction before he finally makes it back to the village. Now, all the villagers would have already pretty much thought Naruto to be dead, and a bunch of villagers were actually punished for this. Hiruzen would have actually ended up laying into them, telling them that that was their only defense. Naruto was the Jinchuriki, and by killing Naruto, they killed the Nine Tails. So a couple villagers would have actually ended up going to prison, and Naruto finally returns. When Hiruzen finds out about this, he would immediately call Naruto forth, and he would see this strange piece of cloth over Naruto's forehead. When he would try to question it, Naruto would simply tell Hiruzen not to worry about it. And Hiruzen, just kind of thinking that Naruto's just a kid anyways, would ask questions about what happened. Naruto would tell Hiruzen exactly what the villagers had told him, saying that the villagers chased him off into the Forest of Death, and that he survived by eating a strange fruit in the forest, saying that he shouldn't worry about those things. Before Hiruzen would take one good look at Naruto's eyes, noticing, Naruto boy, is that the Hyuga's dojutsu? How did you get that? Naruto, hearing this from Hiruzen, would say, oh, I don't know. I just went to sleep, and when I woke up, they were just there. My eyes changed from their blue color to like a white purplish color. And Hiruzen would be like, this has never happened before. Just being like, are you sure, Naruto? Like, are you 100% sure you don't know what happened? Before Naruto would say that he is positive. Like, he has no idea how this could have happened whatsoever. Hiruzen would take his word for it, seeing as the Hyuga had not like pretty much ended up saying anything about anyone's eyes going missing, and he does not believe that a 4-year-old Naruto could have done something like this. So Hiruzen would pretty much end up telling Naruto that for the time being, he's actually going to be having Naruto live with him. And when Naruto hears this, he would say, nah, that's not necessary, because he didn't really feel like having to hide this secret from Hiruzen, and it would become so much harder if he lived with him. And not only that, this version of Naruto had a talk with Hagoromo, who told him about the Otsutsukis, who told him about the Chakra fruit, who told him about the Hyuga Dojutsu, the Rinne Sharingan, who explained to Naruto the history of Kaguya, explained to him that he is the reincarnation of Asura, and though Naruto is young, Naruto did understand. Not only that, but Kurama is on Naruto's side now this time around. Kurama saw Hagoromo in his spiritual form, and this kind of just changed Kurama's whole view of the world, making him sort of accept Naruto. Now, when Naruto pretty much is done with this talk with Hiruzen and all is said and done, he would decide to end up making his way back home. This is where I'm going to be having a huge time skip to the end of the academy. And what will end up happening during this time is Naruto would end up befriending Kurama, gaining more and more of the Nine-Tails powers. Kurama teaching him history lessons, telling him about all the things he's seen by the time that he's been alive, helping Naruto control his chakra. Actually, since Naruto was all six Sage of Six Paths powers, he would have actually ended up getting a perfect understanding for it, because of the fact that it gives him yin and yang release, and it also gives him full mastery of all 5 elements. So Naruto would just be absolutely broken during this time. Not only that, but this version of Naruto would have ended up studying a bit of the Hyuga's techniques, not exactly learning the gentle fist, but learning a variation sorts of style of it. With that, he also would have ended up learning that his Rinne Sharingan ability gave him a unique ability, unique to only him. Not only that, but Naruto was a different beast. Naruto was a powerful individual. He's at least Hokage in terms of strength at this moment. He's at least Kage level in terms of a shinobi. That's telling you a whole lot. That's just putting it lightly. Naruto is currently probably even stronger than Hiruzen at this point. And this is just utterly insane. So, yeah. Not only that, but another minuscule change to the story would pretty much be Naruto's drip. I don't like Naruto's OG drip that he has in the series, so instead I'm gonna be giving him a black hoodie. I'm gonna be giving him like these really cool black like shinobi pants, and like just this really cool outfit that gives him more of like a mysterious and also like a badass look. So yeah, in terms of what he looks like, that's that. Not only that, but Naruto likes to cover his forehead with his hair, so we would have ended up pretty much growing his hair out. And when it comes to his headband that he's going to wear, of course he's going to cover it over his forehead to hide the Rinne Sharingan. And this is why nobody's ever going to be noticing it. Nobody other than dojutsu users. And you guys are going to be having to see how all of that ends up playing out when he ends up meeting Kakashi Hatake of the Sharingan. If you guys want a part 2, go down below and smash the like button. Honestly, I'm not sure if I'm going to be going any further with the series. This is more of a one-shot, something I've always wanted to start, but I'm not sure if I'm going to finish it just due to the fact that I didn't really plan ahead that much, and it all just depends on how this first episode of the series goes. If you guys end up enjoying it, then I'm going to be dropping another part, and if you guys don't, then so be it. The episode dies here, and bing, bang, boom, that's it. So if you want another part, tell your friends to tell another friend, and I hope you guys had an amazing day. It has been your boy Zether, and I am out. Peace.